Good evening. It is very late on a Saturday night. Um, wow, is it really Saturday already? Or was Saturday, because I've only got like 20 something minutes left. Um, um, was it really Saturday today? Um, wow. Um, Easily done. Right. Um, Today, allegedly, was, more accurately, National Lace Day here in the UK. Not the problem with an awful lot of these national whatever days. They seem to happen. There seems to be something for every day, and there doesn't seem to be an official list of the days. So I am slightly sceptical, but it is the way it is, right? So I have to confess, not entirely convinced myself, but just in case, we'll go along with it. So today we are hoping to breach into our join here. But I did something dumb. Now you can't really tell. It looks a bit pink on camera. I possess this, but as you can see, there's a mark on it. This is because somehow it got turned on and was plugged in, and I don't actually know what caused the mark. I haven't discovered what it melted, to be honest. But I found out it was turned on when I grabbed it. Because I went, oh, because it looked like a black thing with a... It looked like a screw-in knob. I was kind of, oh, what's that pick? Nah. So, for some reason, not entirely sure why it managed to get turned on, because it's a slidey thing, so it shouldn't, but it did, and I paid the price. And Rory has just caused a cascade failure and fled like the little thief that he can be, for some stuff that I had. But yeah, my finger's now really sore. Shocker, you'll notice today I'm sporting a brown jumper, so just in case you ever wondered, I do have an awful lot of them, but I also have some brown cardigans. And unfortunately the dog's managed to do this to all of them, because he won't let me do his claws, and in the end they all end up with little holes from catching on his claws. So, but I really like these kind of jumpers. So. I'm not sure today is going to be a long one. Originally, I planned and thought, well, yeah, I'll do like a really long one. I'll start early, and then I got sidetracked, and then I nodded off, which is why I'm so late. So, I can't blame anything other than myself. Now I'm too hot. Right, you need, before I get too excitable for you need to go down this side. No, it's just been annoying. She didn't look right. You back in there. I need you for this. All set. Everything's twisted. Finger. Right. Yay! Hello, hello. I was a bit late today. I fell asleep. I also burnt my finger. It's the pink one in the middle. I burnt my finger. So I'm a bit peeved at the moment. Because I burnt my finger. But there we go. I know the feeling. Well, I dropped something, as I often do, and I can't explain it very well, but if you think of a knob with a metal screw on the end of it, I haven't got one to hand to show you, obviously, but you know, screw that you might have in many things. I thought I saw one and was like, what's that from? Went to pick it up, burnt finger. Turns out it is, or was, this, which is a miniature iron thing. But as you can see, there is, it's now cold, by the way. It's obviously burnt something. It had got turned on, because look, light comes on. You can't really see it because of the light, but it had come on. And I don't know how, because you've got to slide the thing, and it's not an easy slide at that. No, it is cold. But I burned my thingy. I am very accident prone in many of these things, but that was not. Yeah. It was slightly annoying though, as I'm sure you can imagine. Because it makes me wonder how long it's been on, for starters. And how come. Maybe that's the thing I've been smelling, because there was a funny smell for a while. Yeah. I don't think so. Because it wasn't a burning smell, it was just a smell. I do initially. So why, depends. The other day, dumb note here, took something out the oven, so, you know, clearly it had been on hot, right? Took something out the oven with an oven glove with my less good hand. Knowing that this is the stupid hand, I wanted to pass it to the better hand. Well, this hand had the glove on, so I grabbed it. And I had time to look at it and go, well, that was a stupid idea. And almost had a conversation with myself. Well, the weird part... Well, the stupid part was I grabbed this thing, which was hot metal. It had been in at like 220 centigrade as well. It wasn't even like it was on really low. It was on hot. And grabbed it, kind of had the conversation with myself of, that's really hot and stupid. So deliberately let go. And I had no burns from it either. I don't know what happened there. I mean, I've got pretty good reactions, hence there's no blister or anything, because that does get real hot. But it currently feels like someone's almost just sitting there tickling at it. It's just been a bit sensitive and sulking because I didn't love it enough or something. I don't know. So, it'll be fine. It will be fine. let's fob you all over here a bit. Get you out of the way a bit more. I've had a headache all day, which doesn't help. It has to be said, I used to laugh at my ex-husband because he'd do something like take it out of the oven, put it on the countertop or the oven top or whatever, and then go to grab it and go, ow, it's hot. And it's like, we'd be mad if it was cold. It's been in there 45 minutes. It is funny how the human brain can be really intelligent and really dumb in the same second. And to be honest, dogs have really got this down pat as well. I've seen my dogs do really clever things. And yet, Mr. I've got a sensitive nose and can smell like one part in a million can't see the dog treat on the floor in front of his face, you know. And it is funny how, as human beings, we occasionally do things that impress ourselves so bad. You sit there going, blimey, wow. And then 2 minutes later you do something like pick your dinner plate up and turn it upside down and put all your dinner on the floor and kind of go, why did I do that? What was that about? I did that once. I was a kid. I must have been maybe at most 8. I think I was 7. And I'd cooked dinner for me and my dad. And I'd given my dad his dinner because we always ate on trays in the sitting room in front of the TV. And I went to pick mine up. Yeah, hello, had like 2nd degree burns from a pasta shell. Yeah, it was still full of hot salty water, wasn't it? Well, I picked it up, it dribbled down my chin. But yeah, the dinner thing, put my dad's thing on a tray, took it into my dad, picked my plate up and turned it upside down on the tray and looked at it and went, fuck it. Put the cutlery on, walked in, and my dad's kind of looking at me because there's obviously no plate on my tray. And it's like, shut up. Shut up. I'm like 7 and it's like, shut up. Do not ask me. Yeah. Exactly. And then you see like TikTok videos of women greasing things, and there's like this frying pan literally bubbling with fat, and they literally just put the things in and go, hink, wipe, wipe, wipe. I'm looking at it going, I'm going to lose a finger if I try that. By the way, ads are thinking of happening. What's funny? Yeah, it's almost like, oh, is that on? Tss, yes. I must admit, the human brain is really quite spectacular at some of its stupidity. Its ability to do and not to do things is unrivaled, I swear. Eh, we have good things, we have bad things. Yeah, but apparently not when it's hot. It's like my brain's just having a mega fart. I feel like I did something wrong along back in the things. Hang on, the last big one I did. It is. I think I did. But in fact I'm reasonably confident I did. The reason I'm contemplating that it feels wrong is because of the undery ovary bits, and I'm treating these groups of 4 as a bobbin, and this is what I expected to be doing, which is fine. But last time I did this, I did the pairs of bobbins. I am making, I'm sure I've shown this. So, this was an experiment. Interrupts the dog. This was an experiment I did. Hang on, let me put this down flat-ish. Let me move the microphone a bit because I keep knocking it. Right. So, this is flat. This was my experiment. Now, this covered many things, which is why it's an experiment. So this was my first join. This was another join, but I don't like well, there was this kind of gap. And this was another join that worked a lot better until I washed it. And then these ones haven't been washed, whatevs. But basically, I am making, or I will be making, as per the indication, 7. This is only 6, but this is as wide as my window. So I am making basically this strip repeated, but big, small, and then this one will be small, big, across the window. So they're going to be roughly a metre long. And I will sew them together, and it will be known as my net curtain. You sew them together with a lot of swearing. An excessive amount of swearing, because this, even all of this, weighs nothing. There is no weight to this. This doesn't, kind of, gravity doesn't really apply, right? So when you're trying to sew them together, it's like trying to stitch smoke. It's fucking annoying, actually. So but in no, basically it's for every movement of the needle at least 1 to 2 swear words. It is an excessive amount of swearing. All the little pinholes that are made here on the edge, so this edge is bobbly, this edge is straight, but this, because, well, these edges were bobbly, but the bobble edge goes to another bobble edge like this, point kind of round to round, so there's bobble, 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 bobble. And then what you do is, at the end of each bobble, there is like a little cross where there's a pinhole. So you go through the pinhole, round a leg of the bobble, over the other side of the bobble that's on the other side, come back, wind round, through the pinhole, repeat, all the way down one side. And then you do the same coming back up the other side. And then you have joined them together. Hence, a lot of swearing. Because, well, arse, basically. But that is the grand plan. To make basically 7 meters of stuff and join it together. But not as one long 7 meter, because that'd be fun. Well, then I'd have to, like, seal the ends a bit. So I'm going to make 7 1 meter strips and join them together. I need to look at my picture again, because I think I've done this one even more wrong than the other one. I've lost all. It is one advantage of keeping many pictures, is that this is not no, I have while I think this is what I meant to do, I've lost basically all sense of everything, I think. I've got a feeling that this is distinctly what I meant to do, but not what I have been doing. So we'll undo this, and then which is why I remember it being different. So I think I was right. Over, under, over, under. This is what I was doing before. So now it's under, over, under, over. And then over, under, over, under. And then under, over, under, over. Right. Yeah, it looks better. Stop getting stuck on each other. You're round. There's nothing to get stuck on. That's wrong somehow. I don't know, I'm 3,000 degrees and all I've got is a t-shirt on. I swear my temperature gauge is actually my brain, and the more my brain thinks, the more I overheat. Is your brain also connected to your bladder? So the moment you have to think really hard, you either get a headache, overheat, or need a wee. Because mine sure is. Fair enough. Seriously, I am so hot. Well, there's not a lot left to take off, to be honest. All I've got is a t-shirt and a bra on the top. I mean, I'm hardly overdressed here. I started off, bear in mind I've been wearing a cardigan all day and being perfectly comfortable. And here it is at like 25 past midnight and now I'm hot. What the fuck? Put you away for a second. Oh dear. Wretched animal. Sighing like it's got 3 jobs and a mortgage. Oh, blimey. Hello to all you lovely new people. Welcome to all you lovely new people and to all the lovely new followers I seem to be getting. Thank you very much. Part of my laughter is the fact that I have a text-to-speech thing, and I really need to stop it reading out emotes. Um, I don't mind a small amount of chaos. Don't get me wrong. I am a bit chaotic myself. That's fine. Um, so welcome all you lovely new people. Um, let me do one thing that's really important here. Let me go and find my text to speech and do something to see if I can turn off emotes. Hang on. Because, well, normally. Oh, yeah, it does. Fair enough. I am distinctly another Brit. Yeah, don't worry about the emotes. I quite like it when it reads out the emotes because normally if you just do like we have one person called Netkisser who comes in and their hello is this long string of emotes, and if it skipped them it wouldn't mention that they came and said anything because well it so you'd kind of have to do change the emote to something else and that yes, neck kiss is cool, and so as a result, I don't like to remove the emotes, but it also means that when when you come in and there's lots of like hello and all the emotes and we've come raiding and my poor little text to speech struggles to keep up. And a spam bot just to make our day. Let's quickly report the spam bot. You can spam emotes, just know that if I'm giggling, it's because it's reading them out. I'd hate to deprive people of their normal behaviour while I work out what the heck I'm doing with this. Right. necessary. No, I have Speakerbot, and Speakerbot reads me things. Well, thank you very much for trusting me with them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To be honest, you didn't get to see the spam bot. I have a thing. I have entered enough things into the Twitch phraseology that is pretty accurate, and so to be honest, I just like to report them as soon as I've got them, so that they don't feel at home. You know. Sleep well, and so I to be honest, my spam bot is pretty accurate. I can't remember the last time a spam bot actually got to be seen by you guys. So it's just that I like to go and make sure that their time is, that they know they came here to die, you know. Well, one of the things that I do find myself slightly puzzled by is, yeah, I mean, that would be useful. I mean, I do find it frustrating that the Twitch reporting process is almost longer than it is for the sign up process. So you've got to click on them, then you've got to say report them, then you've got to kind of pick a category, then a subcategory, then you have to type something, then you have to agree you're you. You know, it just does seem a little bit much. And Spambot is dead, by the way. So, you know, it does work, but it is just that whole kind of... I thought they were cracking down. Yeah. I know. I mean, considering Twitch claimed that they were cutting down on the bots, they don't seem to be doing much about the spam bots. Because as I said, I use their tools, and I've got 100% success rate so far in most of a year. So if I can use their tools, why can't they add those things to their spam and automatically decide that that's fucking spammer? I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's just, it is one of those things, is that I'm a computer programmer in my spare time, and as a full-time job, I work in IT doing server support. I used to be a programmer full-time, but it gave me too many headaches. So let me introduce what I'm actually making. I was just explaining it earlier, so let me explain what I'm making. This was an experiment that I did, so be aware it is not representational entirely. So, this was me making some strips, because originally we made squares. Let me show you a square. Hang on. So we made squares, and we were going to join the squares, and there was going to be 18 of them, and make one, calling it a net curtain. But over the course of making it, well, they are, but The more and more with the squares, I got slightly concerned that the hard lines would look very much like a crochet granny square blanket, and that net curtains are not usually inclined to be that way. So, let me put my microphone back where it's used to be. With this, I made a strip and another strip and joined them together. And initially, this looked spectacular because, well, it kind of did. I then did a similar join but slightly different here. And in reality, there's a bit of a line on one side and a kind of a gap looking on the other. And the reason there's a gap looking on the other is because, well, all the other little circles made by the lace are actually smaller. These are bigger because they're not made into something else. So then we tried join number 3. Now, join number 3 was a rip-roaring success. Now, it could be better, but not in this lace type. So this style of lace is called torsion, and if I lift this up, yeah. Yeah. Well, certainly for mine, because 99.9 of them say something along the lines of cheap viewer on steamboo.com, remove the space with a after it. Streamboo, clearly a bad word, remove the space, probably a good idea. Cheap followers, cheap viewers, cheap... anything with those kind of phrases in, again, almost guaranteed to be a bot. So can we just quit those? And yes, well, as I say, I've managed to use Twitch tools to do it, so they're free to take a copy of my rules. But as you can see from this, when if you look at it closely, this does kind of follow it up. The only reason this looks slightly weird in reality is that there are 2 threads twisted to make a bobble on one side, 2 threads, and a third thread is then added to go up one side, and the 4th one comes the other side. So each side for the bobbles end up with 3, not 2. And before you ask, sadly, cannot make the bobbles down the edge with 1 in this style. There is a style called Buck's Point, which we did think of trying, and in fact we did try and make this in the Buck's Point style, because you can. Buck's Point is the British version of Chantilly and Tonda. It's all the same crap. So, but I could make a one thread edge, so therefore it would work, except you make one little mistake and then trying to work backwards doesn't work. Whereas working backwards in this, I make a bit of a meal on it on occasions, but you can work backwards in this. So I then put 20 of these motifs up on the internet, got people to vote on them, and they voted for the first 2. Well, actually that one and that one, but they voted for the first 2. So that's what we're making. It is going to be a net curtain in my house. For I am very much a tomboy. I have no need for lace. But I kind of felt I wanted something that I'd made. Because before anyone says, yes, it's really common to make bookmarks. Yeah, I read on a Kindle. Don't need bookmarks on a Kindle. You just kind of shut it and it remembers where you are. I don't need a bookmark. So... well, it does, because it means we all sit there. Yeah, it's like, if we all sit there and we've all worked out pretty much the same rules, why then can't they? Because, well, if we've each got to then sit and enter basically the same rules, they could have just made them built in. Because, well, everyone's kind of got the same rules. So, yeah, I don't know. It seems a very big oversight that they have. I mean, you know, they're clamping down on bots, and they will happily get mad at a streamer who gets suddenly, if I got raided by some guy with like 5,000 viewers, because my stream is not used to those kind of numbers, they'd almost immediately shut me down as a, paying for view bots or something, right? Well, no, but it's funny how you'll clamp down those, which they would potentially get ad revenue for. No. It's. I don't get it. They do seem. I mean, there was a thing I saw a meme on the other day, where they were. Well, depending on what the bots do and how long the bots are here and all the rest of it, there is a good chance they technically do get money from the bots. It depends on how it works. If they just... Because for those who don't know, but who are old, like me, Twitch chat is basically IRC in the background, which was originally stood for Internet Relay Chat. So you can join it without watching the stream. And if they just do that, then no, they're not going to get money from them. Which would be the better place to do it, to be honest. But it does seem such a stupid thing that they're cutting down on bots, that they're doing, making a big thing about how they're cutting down on bots. And yet, every day, every time I do a stream, I get at least one. Every day. Without fail. And it just seems really, really stupid that if we can do it, why can't they? So I'm just kind of... So yeah, it's... So I was just checking something. Well, thank you. I am normally on at more sociable hours because I hold down a job. But I do late night Saturdays just because it allows for people who are elsewhere in the world to either not have to try and get on before work or in the middle of work or whatever. It gives other people a chance. So this is my kind of last thing on a Saturday night, and yes, it is late because it's heading for 1 o'clock in the morning here, so it is late. So I am not offended by those needing to go to sleep, because I started late today because I nodded off. So I'm not going to pretend that that's not a thing. But yes, it would be good to see you all again. That's the one. I'm not going to claim that I do not get a small amount of money, but when I mean a small amount of money, I think in 3 months I earned the last 3 months I got a whole £38. Okay, now admittedly that was after tax, but Twitch takes the tax, so it's not like I get a choice. So to be honest, I'm not really in it for the numbers. As I explained the other day, I do this because I'm recording my, almost like a diary, of me making my neck curtain and the journey I go upon along it. As a result of which, to be honest, I don't expect anyone to come and watch me. For I'm not doing it for education. I'm not doing it for the expectation of becoming the next Mr. Beast or Asmongold or whatever. Although, I look at the pair of them and frankly, they are... I personally don't feel they're great. There's nothing hugely great. They have managed to find a niche. Good on them. But, making lace, I really don't expect people to come along and watch. I just don't. Why is that? Oh no. It is good. It is good. It's still good. So I had a bit of a moment because I thought it was wrong, but I just need to join these two together, so that's okay. I didn't join the bottom of my thing because I haven't done this side. That's why. Brain dead. If I had a brain, I'd be dangerous. So I do this because I want to record the journey. 4, 5, 6, 7. Not because... Yeah. Well... There's a guy who's called Pirate Software, and if you haven't heard the drama, I didn't pay any attention, I just automatically agreed to it. Yeah. Oh, viewers, probably. But, I'm not opening the can, but one thing I will say, not opening the can, but like you've said, the moment anyone said anything, the things people were getting banned for from that channel were outrageous. Now, I'm not saying that some of them didn't frankly deserve it, but some of them, it was almost smiley face, ban, dude. There definitely is some odd behaviour, and I think I was discussing this with someone the other day, is that why is it that when you've got more money than brains, people inevitably seem to go to drink and drugs? And I will admit that allegedly, apparently, there is a potential to earn more than you can spend. Never been in that position. I would love the challenge personally. But the truth of it is there is a potential to earn more than you can spend. But still, why do you have to spend it on dumb things? I mean, the number of fancy footballers who get banned from driving because they were caught, drunk driving, whatever. Dude, you earn £150,000 a week, which is like, 5 years' salary or something for me, right? In a week. You could afford a chauffeur. You could afford a team of chauffeurs. One, to do, 8-hour slots and to be on beck and call for, for your every whim. With that kind of money, chauffeurs are not necessarily the most overpaid people in the world, but, you could afford to pay decent wages to these people, and then you'd never need to be in that position. So why is it that they don't? Well, no one really knows. And my dad once explained that rich people are rich because they don't spend it. Well, that's true and not true all at the same time. But you sit there going, then they get all bent out of shape because, they got caught and, oh, but I need it for my job, I'm famous. It's the influencer, don't you know who I am kind of thing, right? Yeah, and that makes you even more stupid for doing it because, now... It is. I will say I don't think he necessarily means to be. I just think it's how he is. But there is definitely a lot going on there, and some therapists could have a field day. But we all have. To be honest, as someone who's highly introvert, hence not my face on camera, I would argue that nearly anyone who... You think about all the YouTubers, the makeup people, all the rest of it. You have to think quite a lot of yourself to expect to do it as your full-time job. Now, I've gone into this expecting no one to show up. I'm kind of disappointed if no one shows up, don't get me wrong, because there's plenty of people out there. But at the same time, I don't expect anyone to come. I don't expect to make money from it. I have no illusion of being able to retire on it, for example. And there was a wise man once said, anyone who wants to be a politician should be automatically banned from being one. And to an extent, I think the same should be true about a lot of the influencer kind. Because, I'm sure you've done this. We're talking through a live streaming platform, so I'm pretty sure you've done this. Mainly YouTubers. They go through making a video once, twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. They have millions of views. And they do art, makeup, whatever it is. And then, kind of like 2 years in, well, it's kind of why I'm here, but I'm doing it gently in that you can't see my face. So you can hear me, which I feel I have the voice of a suicide hotline caller. But this is me pushing myself out here as much as I feel I can. However, as I was saying, the people who go into it with, you get lots of them. The ones that used to make me laugh were the makeup people who get up at like 11 o'clock in the morning, slap on a face full of very expensive makeup, and then claim they're going to do a day's wear test. Darling, some of us have been up 5-6 hours by the time you even got out of bed. It's not really... Bear in mind, I don't wear makeup. I just enjoy watching people do it. Because it is one of those things is that because I don't do it, and have never really done it, I find it fascinating. But I'm not... but you watch them but nearly after 2 years of putting out till, they start out with like a couple of 1 or 2 videos a week maybe, and then maybe get to 3, and then instantly have like the meltdown video. Oh, it's all too much, I'm going to have to give up for a bit. But darling, you've got editors, you've got people, all you have, one particular one that sticks in my mind, she pitched a fit. She was a maturer lady, more to the point. She pitched a fit because a kid had not done what she expected of them, and, well, was not contractually obliged to do so, so he didn't. And it was hardly his fault. More drama, right? But she pitched the whole fit about how, you know, her entire company was dependent and he's wrecked it all. And, you know, she spent 45 minutes sobbing it at the camera, right? And I'm sitting there going, over that? You're not 5, darling. He didn't go off and, like, you know, ask someone if they could, you know, borrow a pencil from the wrong people. You should be over something like that, because it really was as petty as that. And it was kind of like, you need to get over it, honey. Because her entire house was built on the funds made by her YouTube channel. Her husband did not work because of her YouTube channel. So she was making a really good amount of money, and... oh, diddums. And this is, I think, the bit that annoys me, is that people can come to fame. Well, look at the film industry. People can come to fame, artists, singers, whatever, come to fame, and then they can disappear and be off the boil just as quick. And not everybody gets to, you know, to be famous and loved by all forever. And yet they all seem to think that they will be. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm sure they all hope to be. Now, there's nothing wrong with a bit of hope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hoping is fine. Hoping is good and healthy. Aiming, planning, what if? But do not be expecting it, because, well, it may not go that way. I mean, imagine if I jacked in my job. Hey boss, giving up the job, gonna spend my life making lace on Twitch. Well, it's not going to work out very well for me, because the crafting community is distinctly quite small. Now, if I was playing computer games, which I suck at, but if I was playing computer games, there is a potentially better chance that that is a feasible option. But you still don't do it until you're getting a bit nearer, surely. You know, you're getting to a point where, well, I can almost live on what I'm earning. Well, then, if I quit the day job I don't want, I can spend more of it doing the job that I do want, and you know, maybe push it to the point where it is now self-sustaining kind of thing. But no, they all seem to start, you know, well, we all start with nothing, which is fine, but too many of the YouTuber types and the TikTokers and all the rest of it seem to think that from day one they're going to be, you know, rich, and then get really upset, and, well, you're kind of naive, because just as quickly as the algorithm can find you, the algorithm can kind of go, nah, not this week. Yes. Yeah. A lot of it is luck. Now, as I said, as part of the making community, we are not likely to well, statistically, the viewer base is considerably smaller. Therefore, you are you know, becoming the next Mr. Beast is not going to be a thing, right? You might get lucky and be able to perform enough that you maintain a living doing it. But chances are you will need to do a lot more than sit on Twitch or YouTube, you know, live. You would have to make tutorial videos, you would have to classes or whatever. You would need to, and maybe even sell things you made to realistically achieve it. And that's fine, because, you know, I don't think an awful lot of makers of things go into streaming specifically to retire and just do streaming their hobby and be rich. I don't think that's kind of their intention. It's more sharing it with other people. That's right, that looked a bit wonky, but it's tension. Kind of thing. And, you know, we'll answer questions and all of that kind of stuff. But it's not necessarily about becoming the next Mr. Beast. Whereas, you know, I mean, I've actually seen it in real life. I've actually heard someone say to someone, well, I'm an influencer. Don't you know who I am? And I've looked at them and gone, no. Yeah. Now, I used to do, many years ago, I actually got my affiliate many years back when I was streaming a particular game. And I would often do 15 hours on a Saturday, because I'd get up, fire up the stream, and play the game all day. I didn't make any money whatsoever. Not a penny while I was doing that. Not enough for a single payout. And to be honest, don't know why. I made affiliate. I was good, but I never got ad money. I never got anything. I then got really hacked off with the game, because the game, while it had gone live, so I started playing it when it was early access and we were allowed to stream it. And I played it and I was loving it, and then almost every patch that came out for it, it was almost like the day I found it, it started pulling away from what I wanted. And after quite a while, it was kind of like, you know what? Why am I doing this? Now, funnily enough, my brain does do that, because early 2000s, I'd been playing EverQuest every waking moment of my life, and I lost my job, and was a bit short of money, and that's fine, was cool with that. Needed to can my accounts on EverQuest for a bit, because I couldn't afford to pay them and live, so, because I was paying by the year, and so at £600 kind of, because I had 4 accounts, at 600 quid I really needed in my pocket. So I cancelled my accounts, and Daylight Games, who were running it at the time, went, yeah, sent me an email confirming that I had cancelled my renewal. So they took it anyway. And when I contacted them and said, look, but here, you sent me a mail confirming that I cancelled it. And they went, yeah, no refunds. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say that streaming doesn't have a level of effort to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I don't use Twitch to automatically upload my videos to YouTube I manually upload them because you get better quality. And when you've got stupidly small threads, quality matters. So I do that, and doing that, posting the thing on YouTube, picking a thumbnail for it, posting it on things to say, hello, I posted my thing to catch up, does get kind of tiring. Jesus. Yeah, and I mean, I've never been one. I'm not really into reality shows, so I don't really do like Big Brother and Get Me Out of Here and the Kardashians and all of that kind of rubbish because, well, like the celebrity Now Get Me Out of Here, they're not really in danger. They're really not. Because there's teams of people around. It's not like they are literally dumped on a lump of sand in the middle of the sea and left for a couple of weeks. It's actual, staged. There's a mistake there somewhere. Oh no, no, maybe, no, it just looks like a mistake. Thank God for that. It didn't look like there was a pair of bobbins coming out from a pin. Phew. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Great. So everyone's back on, got their sticks back. Now we can work down one side. Well, and this is the problem, is that, as you say, it's when it is screamingly obviously fake. I mean, we've got Jersey Shore and a whole bunch of other stuff, and you're just like, it just either it feels fake, even if it's not. I mean, we had a documentary. Oh, of course, there's ads. You see, I have a lot of respect for people like that. Because they genuinely are doing it the hard way, if you know what I mean. yeah, as you say though, so much of it is blatantly fake and staged, and it's just absolutely unnecessary. I mean, I've never understood why people would watch it. Yeah, Mythbusters, you know, they had to work out if there was something to investigate or not, right? I mean, so clearly some work goes into it. Because otherwise, some of them could be a really short episode. But there is, you know, I remember one where they made vegetable margarine stuff. Oh dear God, that's enough to put you off eating it, as if you needed any help. But as you say, there's kind of like Celebrity Get Me Out of Here, where you know that they're in zero danger whatsoever. I mean, one of the classics of that is back in the 80s, Lady Diana went into a minefield. Do you really think they hadn't swept it first? Wow. I've got a really annoying co-worker friend. Um, he isn't annoying, but he is annoying. He is a great guy. I love him with all my heart. He knows more famous people than you can shake a stick at. He's got their phone numbers. He's got their emails. He's had invites to stay with them. He really is quite annoying. And I think he had an art. I think it was. I think now. Don't get me wrong. I could be wrong because it was a few years ago. But I think he had an offer from like Dwayne the Rock Johnson. You know. Hey, Mickey Gets Me. How are you? No. Awesome. Go you. Yeah, something not quite right there, but I can't see what it is. I don't think. I'm gonna see if I can take a photo and get a picture and see if I can work out what it is, because I can't get my face up close enough. Yeah, I don't know quite what's wrong. I don't think it's going to show. I honestly don't think it's going to show. But both of them are coming out below the pin, whereas one should be above the pin. But I just can't. I can't get close enough to see it. I think what I actually managed to do was that One of the ones from here went on to go down the tree and shouldn't have, so I used somehow one of the wrong pair, and I don't think it's going to show, but we will go back and fix it because we're being good little people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we will stick you on a stick. And we need, it's up to you, so we need you. So we need to undo you. So it's getting that wrong. If you can hear Puppy snores, you're right. My backside seems to have snores coming out of it. For there is a little black dog sleeping there. For all of those who are new, let me introduce these two. Those are my two puppy dogs. They're called Rory and Amy. Romy's the little black one. Amy's the little brown one. And they're very cute, especially when they're asleep. I love them dearly. But they are best behaved when asleep. So this must be wrong, and it is. So, the question is, how? Because you're all tangledy-tangled, and I can't see what is above and what is below. There you go. There's that. Nope. Right. So let's do this again. Let's put some music on, shall we? Let's do some music. Oh. And today we will go with I'm gonna play this one first. This is going to be a little bit abnormal for my channel, but I'm gonna play this one first because I heard this earlier today and I kind of liked it. Whether it was a good plan or a bad plan, that's a whole new story. But let's swap over the music option and hit play. get back to more of our usual style of stuff then, shall we? This'll do. Oops, don't need a pin for that. Idiot. Oh, feet getting to sleep. Getting out again. Brain cells obviously thinking. missed. Actually, before we do that, let's make some of you longer because it's getting a bit crowded. Hard life being a little black dog. I do love how dogs will sigh like they've got 5 jobs and 2 mortgages to pay. Yeah, good luck with that. Oh dear. What kind of tool were you trying to make? I know that feeling, Mickey gets me. As you know, there's been a smell round here. It's gone now, but I don't know what it was. I think mine was my air squirter thing. Well, it's probably something on the outside of a container. It's probably something small on the outside of a container. Eggs shouldn't smell unless they're broken. And there's an easy way to test if it's your eggs. Float them in water. If they float, chuck them. If they don't float, they're good. Irrelevant of what the date says. You don't have drains in a fridge usually, but usually for me it's something on the back or bottom of something, or a bit round the lid of something that's kind of as I said, I had a really odd smell here, and it wasn't a bad smell, but it wasn't a good smell. Yeah, we don't have drains in ours, but no, I don't think we do. But as I said, when I noticed then that my air squirty thing in the hall, to try and counteract any dog odours, should we call it, I did notice that I made a mistake. That basically it was the squirty spray thing that turns it from a spindle to a squirt had come off in the unit, so the unit was just pressing, and I think the squirt was going into the electronics and cooking, which is why it didn't smell normal, but not a lot of it, so it didn't kind of overpower. When I put the spray thing back on, it all settled down, and now the house smells like it normally does. So it can be, it's hard when it's not a horrid smell, you just can't put your finger on it smell. Now I've got a feeling, no, the hallway, in the hallway I've got an air freshener thing. Something's not right here. No, you see, you don't look right either. Start from here. I do know the very, very kind. What are the issues? Not that I have experience making one, but I know how they require to work, so I understand the principle. Yes, I'm just squishing a can. So I can open up a new one. And no, it's still not beer. Yeah, you need quite a few resistance to build up the amps. as for the, yes, there is a fine line between heating it up and blowing it up. After all, that's how fuse wire works. So yeah, yeah. Well, well, there is somewhere in between. It's just one of those calculations, perhaps. Well, exactly. You learn. Well, you know that you had a point where it wasn't enough and a point where it was too much. So start at maybe the too much end and blow a few, or if you're feeling cheaper, start at this end and try to up it. Now, of course, it isn't always that simple. Yes. Might be easier to buy one, of course, but you know, where's the fun in that, you know? No, it's not yet. Well, I would imagine they're upping the amps and not the volts. Yeah. Missed. Yeah, with a battery one, you'd have to up the ampage. Something's not quite right here either. I don't think they do. Not the cheap ones, anyway. Oh, that is right. Yeah, don't hurt yourself in the process. That's the important part. I must admit, I much rather play with electricity than gas or water. Especially as I can't smell gas, so. Despite the, quote, additive that they stick in it so that people can smell it, I can't. It should do, yeah. Yep. All you have to do is pass enough amps through it that it will warm up without getting too hot and go poof, like as I said, like the fuse wire. Yeah. Little land of the cheap shit. Look on eBay, see if there's a second-hand one. Or if you can find a bust one on eBay. There you go. Well, you won't generally start a fire with the battery. I mean, you can. You can start a fire with wire wool and a battery. Famous last words, those, mind. Yeah, it was probably meant it was close to going pop. Yeah. like when they show you the pictures of laptops and phones with the swelled up battery. It's kind of like just put it in a box far, far away and never touch it. Don't get me wrong, I am no guru upon electronics, but I did build a radio when I was a kid. Now, everyone else bought a radio kit. Our teacher had given us the diagram, so I literally printed out the diagram, nailed it to a piece of plywood, and put each part on each part of the diagram and made an A4 sized radio with hand bought resistors and bits that I had to weld together, whereas everyone else basically bought snap this to here, plug this in here and insert that, there you go. No, I actually did a proper one. I actually enjoyed it as well. Appeals to my maths brain. Well, my lovely people, I feel I should probably go to bed as it's after 2 o'clock. And before I go to bed, I will start the upload to YouTube because I back everything up to YouTube. Take a picture of my work to date. She says trying to line it up badly. There we go. How does that look? Could look better, but it could look worse. Let's do the quick scan for faux pas. That looks a bit odd. Where's that? Oh, I think it's just the way it works out. Okay, that's fine. Because sometimes, because of the angle and the curvature and the pin heads, it can make it look a bit weird. I can tell you that paper clips do not make good fuse wire. Because I accidentally picked up a plug that had a paperclip on it, didn't think too much about it, plugged it in the wall, and it went bang. Scared the living shit out of me and my parents, because my parents were downstairs and heard the bang. And of course I denied everything. And well, I was going to say, My little iron that I burnt myself on earlier, same principle, frankly, as your plastic welder after all, is a USB one, I think. So it's definitely down to ampage, not voltage. Because, ow, I mean, it's still looking big. Doesn't hurt much now. It's a little bit sensitive just here where I grabbed it, but it's sensitive, not hurting. No blister. I've got fairly good reactions, and swearing to go with it. So you know, because it was you know, kind of moment, but you know, such is life. I'm forever damaging myself, so if there isn't blood in it, it can't be important, frankly. You know, I am the kid who put things in the wall socket. I am the kid who mixed chemicals from under my mother's sink. Actually, there's quite a few interesting chemical reactions you can have from stuff under kitchen sink. I've done something along those lines. I didn't notice that the connector to the joining part of a laptop charger, so going to the wall, had come out, and I grabbed it. I've grabbed 240 volts and kind of, oh, I'm awake now. I'm awake now. I've got a tower 4-way. It's actually got 12 points on it, and the bottom, the plastic had broken, and I put my hand on it and there was live cables. Yeah, I touched that quite a few times till I decided it was probably a good idea to chuck it out, and got a new one. But yeah, I did that a lot. Yeah, I'm stupid. I'm healthy stupid, not dangerous stupid. Well, a bit of, I mean, stupid is still going to be a bit dangerous, but I'm mostly harmless. Mostly harmless. Right, so that's 2, that's 3. Right, let's cover you up. Now, I have 21, apparently, of you lovely people to find a new home. So, the question is, who can we give you to that sounds interesting? So let's have a quick look at people I follow, and they're all playing games. Well, that's not actually good. So let's kill that and have a quick look. Who are we going to surprise then? Well, this lovely lady is doing some crochet by the looks of it, and it's a bit of a charity stream, so we're going to go and say hello to this lovely lady. So you're on the other side.